Hello and welcome to Canadian Video Gaming. I'm the Polite Canadian, and today I have for you a Heart of the Swarm StarCraft 2 game between TRG Eric and Bluemagic. So, two Zerg players. Just a quick note, I was going to do that tournament, however, Battle.net has not gotten back to me. So I will just have to do no prize money, no anything, just people come play games versus each other in my local area for the time being, and then cast high-tier games. Maybe once I get up a bit more renown, Battle.net will be more willing to allow me to do a tournament or get back to me. So this is the new Heart of the Swarm. Great to see it out and finally about, and lots of players already, of course, engaged playing it. Lots of new changes. We have the Widow Mine, we have the Swarm host, we have an outstanding campaign that was fun to play through. It was quick. I completed it in the day over, 8 hours. However, it was very, very enjoyable to play. Really action-packed, lots of twists and turns. None of the missions felt like repeats, and lots was going on. Everything was different. A really good, interesting storyline. We do see the spawning pool first for both our Zerg players. Let's get our production tab right going. There we go. So we know exactly what is going on. Both overlords are currently moving across the map slowly to scout each other, which is atypical of every game. It's good to get the scout in. And now that we see the spawning pool down, we should see an expansion for both players. Both players immediately going for Zerglings. Our red Zerg a little bit faster in the Zergling build. We also see a Queen first for our red, as well as the second extractor. Nope, this will be his first, so already a little bit of a divergence for each player. Our blue Zerg went for an early extractor compared to the other. Oh, we see a Baneling nest for our blue Zerg. This will be really interesting instead of an expansion. We'll have to see how our red Zerg responds, because with this Banelings on the field, they'll be really effective against that expansion because there'll be very little Zerglings out, and one detonation will most likely kill them all off. We do see lots of Zerglings for both players, up to 8 now for both sides, I believe, and even more now. And we'll just have to see how the confrontation goes down for both players. Red Zerg is saving up, it seems, for an expansion, so we'll have to see if he actually does end up going for it. No, he's going for a Baneling Nest too. It seems both players are going very, very similar builds, wanting to put early pressure onto each other, not wanting to let either one do any sort of expansion or any sort of macroeconomics. Or macroing. So we'll just have to see how it goes. We see the very first Banelings on the field for our blue Zerg, and a little bit of fighting between the Zerglings right now. The red Zerglings outmaneuvering the blue Zerglings, trying to get a scout in of what's going on in the blue Zerg base. And now they'll be pulling out, and especially now that they see the Banelings on the way. They do not want to get detonated on by that. The Baneling nest almost finished for our other Zerg player. We do see the expansion go down for our red Zerg right away. Well, not right away, but at the 4.5 minute mark, which is really, really good. We do have the Overlord for our red Zerg, currently making sure to notice any new expansions. We see the Zerglings finally fight. The blue Zerglings are going to win because they had a slight number advantage. We do see the metabolic boost going down for our blue Zerg as well. And, oh, we do see spine crawlers for our red Zerg. So most likely, yeah, he's going to build them up here and should bring them down here to defend his ramp. There's one Zergling running away for its dear life, trying not to die. Now the blue Zerglings are pulled off to try and slowly work on this hatchery. The Queen most likely is going to come in here and clean these few Zerglings up. More Zerglings on the field for our red Zerg player. Both players currently now macroing, though blue Zerg is not yet gone for his expansion. He's going to put on a lot of early pressure with these Banelings and these Zerglings. So he's probably going to mass up a bit more to do a frontal assault. I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of practice. Have to get back into practice of doing this. So my first couple of casts will be a little bit awkward as I get back into the routine and groove of things. We do see the spine crawler going down to cover the ramp. Really nice placement behind the rocks. It'll just mean a little bit more time taken to try and get to it. We do see the hatchery is finished for our blue Zerg player. Or I mean our red Zerg player, and metabolic boost almost finished for our blue Zerg. We do see the hatchery now going down for the blue Zerg, but if he's not able to do enough pressure or damage with this attack, he will not be able to catch up because he's already behind because he put so much resources and time into this early harassment. So if he's not able to do any damage, it'll be absolutely worthless. Metabolic boost allowing him to kick in and kill no, not kill a drone. Maybe kill a drone? No. He will not be able to kill a drone as now the Zerglings are in on it. So no drone kills for either side, and Blue Zerg is pulling back with his Banelings, wanting now to focus on his hatchery. Oh, I think the Baneling nest got cancelled again, twice now for our Red Zerg, I do believe. So that's a couple minerals and gas lost each time. So probably trying to do some mind games with our Blue Zerg. We do see even more Zerglings coming on to the field for our Blue Zerg, and replacement of the Spine Crawler to cover more effectively the front entrance. We do see a lot of Zerglings. Oh, it's finally working down this rock barrier as he's looking to take his third, or will be shortly. Hatchery just about finished now for our Blue Zerg, so he's going to try and macro up as best as he can to catch back up in the resource game. We do see a good amount of 2 queens down for our Blue Zerg, most likely see 2 for our Red Zerg as well. Yes, we do. Creep spread already out and working for our Red Zerg. Haven't yet seen the creep spread for the Blue Zerg. Most likely we'll just start it with this one or with our front queen. And has to be careful of these banelings. Oh, hoping to hunt. Oh, that was not worth it. 1 baneling for 1 Zergling. So many more resources were invested in that baneling, but I guess what can you do? It was either that or lose the baneling, I guess. Though I think he could have held on for the Zergling backup. And we do see these couple of Zerglings for Eric running around scouting. More creep expansion going for our Red Zerg. We do see the Roach Warren going down for our Blue Zerg. We do see Layer Tech for both players and another Spine Crawler for Red Zerg. And we see missile attacks for Zerg for Blue Team. So both kind of going along the same line. Oh, we see Baneling's Nest again for Red Zerg. This time in the front to help wall in, which is really, really good, especially against mass Zergling attack from the blue player. I think he's still expecting some sort of harassment from the blue player, which will soon come from the Roach Warren off of his new hatchery, most likely. We do see no roaches yet for our Red Zerg. He's wanting to focus more on the macro, I do believe. Lots and lots of drones going down for both players. 10 drones coming out right now for our Blue Zerg. Both hatcheries are almost completely filled, though this one's down to 19. Oh, he has no one on this gas, so we'll have to see when he finally decides to mine that gas. Good idea, though, to mine this gas over the main base gas, as it's a little bit more safe in the base for in the future. More Roach upgrades for our Blue Zerg, and more Zerglings for our Red Zerg. Oh, actually seeing a Spire go down for our Red Zerg, so that's what he was saving up for. So where we have 1 Zerg going for the air, 1 Zerg going for the ground, hardcore each time. No extra gas for our Blue Zerg, most likely both in his main base, yes. So just a little bit of a difference on each player. We do see just now 6 Roaches hitting the field, and we do see the Roach Warren now going down for our Red Zerg, as well as 3 Banelings and multitudes of Zerglings. So most likely our red player is going to put down some pressure now that he's got his 3rd hatchery on its way. So off the back of this, he's just going to try and do a bit of a damage, because then he can just fall back on the expansion if he wins or loses. We do see the Overseer for our Red Zerg scouting out the Blue Zerg base, seeing exactly what's going on, so he most likely knows that this attack is imminent with these Roaches. We'll have to see what he does to prepare for that, because right now he's got a lot of Zerglings, and Zerglings can take out Roaches, just not very cost effectively. You have to have a huge number of Zerglings to take down the Roaches, just because they're such hardy units and they do so much damage to the Zerglings. Though we do see 2 Spine Crawlers now moving out to cover even more area, trying to do a bit of cover for the 3rd base, so still a huge area open for it, but still a little bit more protection. We do see now 8 Mutas right off the bat entering the field as soon as that Spire's done. The Mutas will most definitely help with this, though. Yes, here we do. Oh, very nice Baneling hit. Is able to take out quite a few Zerglings, but though with the number of Zerglings and the Spine Crawler, he is putting on a lot of pressure for these Roaches, but as you can see here, the Roaches easily chewing through those Zerglings, and now we have the 2nd group of Zerglings for the blue team moving in to try and help push them back, though now with these Mutas able to be uncontested, pushing back these Roaches. We'll have to see what our Blue Zerg decides to actually do. The Overseer just kind of chilling out watching this massive fight go on. Blue Zerg is able to do a lot of damage right now, killing off multiple drones, able to force his way up into the main base, going to take out another queen. These Mutas are trying desperately to focus down the Roaches, though I don't see he'll finally be able to push them down as they're very, very low on health, but not before these Roaches do even more economic damage. This is loss of mining time, loss of drones, loss of larvae to re-macro those drones. Red player not getting too out of it, and you can see he's still continuing to macro, not too worried, because now he's got 3 bases, and the Mutas are slowly cleaning up the Roaches, though he is going to lose the Baneling's Nest in exchange for this hold-off. though seeing as he wasn't using too many banelings, that's not too much of a loss for our red Zerg. The last of the roaches are finally going down. So we'll have to see how much damage was done to each player. Which is it? Units killed, Control R. Like I said, still getting used to it. So here we do see workers killed 25 for our blue Zerg. This is insane. Though we do see quite a few units killed for either side, though that is largely padded by the large Zergling count. Red Zerg, not too bothered by this, is continuing to macro and now has quite a few Butalisks on the field. Yeah, quite a few. And he's going to try and put on some pressure here, though already Blue Zerg, in anticipation of this, already has Spore Crawlers up, so he's going to have to be really picky where he can poke in here with his Mutas, especially with the Queen back up, and he can easily pull down his other Queen. He's going to try and pick off the Extractor, though I don't know why the Roaches keep running up at them. I guess hoping to absorb shots for the Extractors to try and prevent it going down as soon as it can. We do see Hydras on the way for our Blue Zerg, so these will definitely help push back the Mutas. The Mutas will definitely have to focus. Yes, I use the word definitely a lot. The Mutas are going to have to focus more on their engagement and where they're engaging to try and avoid all this mass amounts of Hydras now, because Hydras will easily rip them out of the sky. So it'll be up to the Muta player, our Red Zerg, to try and maneuver around those Hydras. We do see now Roaches for our Red player, so he's finally beefing up his ground army. We are seeing Groove Spine, so they will be able to move faster for the Hydras for our Blue Zerg. We do see the Carapace for the ground forces of the Red Zerg, so we'll have to, he's trying to beef up, trying to match Blue Zerg with their ground forces, though he's going to be playing a catch-up game with that, though seeing as he's ahead in the macro, he's going to have a much easier time than our Blue Zerg. Blue Zerg just now going for his expansion. We'll have to see if Red Zerg tries to punish this and prevent it, though from the army size here, he is going to be able to push him off and prevent anything the Red Zerg's doing, actually getting supply capped by the loss of that Overlord. You don't see that too often with Zerg. They usually have quite a bit of padding, though we do see the Mutas coming in, taking out a Queen, then popping right back out. This is what he needs to do. Just zip in, do a little bit of economic damage, zip back out. Being very careful to try and not lose any of these Mutas to this big ball of Blue Zerg. Blue Zerg, though, from the size of his army, he really should be moving out, though he doesn't have the creep expansion that he really needs. Red Zerg almost approaching the Blue Zerg base with his creep expansion. Mutas are able to take out an Extractor, a little bit of damage here and there, though they are now going to start focusing down this creep expansion if there's an Overseer in the area. Mutas popping in, almost get a Queen, but are able to heal through it. 2 Hydras do go down, though, for minimal damage. Oh, does lose a Muta to the Spore Crawler. Has to be really careful with this fragile force as he's trying to macro up his own army of lots of Roaches. He's hoping to just strong arm his way through this ground army. Losing even more Mutas to this engagement here. Really needs to pull out from this engagement and just wait for this army to attack him, or he's doing actually a good job by keeping the Blue Zerg in his base. Blue Zerg's having to focus on keeping these Mutas at bay, so he's not able to move out across the map against the Red Zerg, so in that sense, he is succeeding in what he's trying to do. Roach is trying to hide under the cliff, doesn't want to get into an engagement with anything, apparently. We do see Ground Carapace level 2 and missile attack level 2 for our Red Zerg. We'll have to see, does Blue Zerg have anything? Has 2 ground attack but no armor, so in an engagement, even though this army is bigger, this Red Zerg army is going to last much longer. Mutas are finally getting whittled down. Oh, losing all of them right here. I guess this is the point where he just gave up, didn't really care about his Mutas. He could have just kept them over here in a safe spot, and then noticed when he was attacked, then move in on it, because now that this Blue Zerg army has nothing to fear, they're immediately going to move out across the map against the Red Zerg. He really should have been more protective of those Mutas, so we'll have to see what he does coming out of this. I guess sacrificing some Zerglings, or I mean some drones. Either that was a bad rally point, or it was a bad, or he just wanted to sacrifice some drones, doesn't feel he needs them anymore. Though looking at the army size, yeah, he really doesn't need them at this time, because we see each base almost fully, oh, this one not saturated at all. Though the 2 expansions almost fully saturated. We do see them attack going down in the middle of the map, Roach volleys back and forth, though with the Mutas, with the Hydralisks able to sit back in the, back behind this Roach army, they'll be able to focus down this Roaches very quickly. He's going to have to try and go for a surround, and we see Blue Zerg chasing a Red Zerg trying to split up. Really nice concave here, though with the Hydras in the back, he's going to take a lot of damage. Though you see the The fact that the red Zerg is able to do any damage at this point is because of his good upgrades. We're going to see this his second upgrades going to start taking effect is what he really needs. Though we do see ground carapace level 1 for our blue Zerg. Really good concave here. Blue Zerg pulling back a little bit. Red Zerg trying to bait him into a better concave. He really needs those upgrades right now, like immediately, because these Hydras are just gunning them away, and more blue roaches flying down the field to reinforce. He's now actually sitting in the middle of the red Zerg. The red Zerg reinforcement line, so he's going to get easily plowed through right here. And there's the GG. He really needed to hold on to those Mutalisks. He needed to do more harassing, because he did a really good job of keeping this blue Zerg army in his base. He just needed to keep those Mutas alive, keep poking here and there very carefully not to lose anything, but making him a blue Zerg aware of their presence, so then it was keeping him in his base. He needed to do that more, be safer with them. He didn't need to actually do any damage, but as long as he was poking, it seemed blue Zerg was content to stay in his base and keep them at bay. He really needed that time for these upgrades to take effect. If his army had the upgrades as he was engaging this blue ball, he would have done much better, though he really did need to get progress further down the technology tree than he really did. He did a good job of going right away for his macro and holding off the early harassment from blue Zerg. However, once the roaches were able to get in here and kill so many drones and prevent so much mining time, it really allowed blue Zerg to push ahead. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me. I apologize for my scrub behavior and attempt at casting. However, I will improve with practice and with continuing to do more casts. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Polite Canadian, and you're watching Canadian Video Gaming. Have a great day.